Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and today I am bringing to you a very exciting collaboration. If you're new to my channel, a very special welcome to you. I hope you will consider subscribing before you leave. If you like what you see today, my channel is all about my journey in beauty after nearly 10 years of not wearing makeup while my kids were small. I'm back on the scene, I'm learning lots, and I'm bringing it to you in an easy, concise way so you can learn along with me. Today's collaboration is all about the ultimate Drugstore Makeup Starter Kit. And I'm so honored to be able to collaborate with Christina Brooke and Ashley Lamora here on YouTube. Everybody has to start somewhere, and why not start at the drugstore so you can learn what you like before you start shelling out massive amounts of cash. So Christina Brooke is a fabulous YouTuber and I have been watching her channel for quite some time. My favorite series from Christina is called Make Up Your Mind, in which she takes a new eyeshadow release, finds some swatches from the new release, and then she goes into her own collection and tries to dupe out the shades, or at the very least the vibes, so she can come back and tell us whether she thinks she needs the palette or not, or whether we do, whether we have the same palettes as her or not. The end result is that we go back into our own makeup collections and try to do the same thing before buying the same eyeshadows over and over again. Christina and I finally connected when I did her most likely makeup tag here on YouTube. Super fun tag. She reposted me over on Instagram, and so I reached out to her to thank her and to let her know how much fun I had doing her tag. It's really phenomenal. If you haven't watched it yet, I will link hers as well as my video down below. But I asked her if she wouldn't consider collaborating with a little guy like me. She said yes, and she also brought along Ashley Lamora. Ashley is a new friend to me here on YouTube, but I'm already loving her channel so much. First of all, she's absolutely stunning and has a real skill at makeup. But also, she has a real knack for reviewing products. From the application of the product and being very descriptive about the experience and the texture and everything of the makeup, to actually sitting down and giving her full and final thoughts on a product, I think she has such a gift for reviewing. And I'm really excited to continue watching her content. So while I love luxury and high-end makeup, I am definitely of the opinion that you can get the same results with makeup from the drugstore. So today I decided to do this video as a get ready with me so that you could not only see the products I'm talking about and hear why they are so great, but you can also see them in action and maybe pick up some tips or tricks, or just see if the product might be right for you. And with all of that said, let's go ahead and get into this look with some of my favorite drugstore products. So for primer, I have two options for you. I'm going to be using both today, but I wanted to keep in mind that a lot of different skin types might be shopping for drugstore makeup. So the first one is the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist. It is a mist, and I recommend you spray it into your hands and then press it into the face, because the mist is very direct. And I just think you're gonna get a better distribution of product this way. I just tend to press this into my skin in the T-zone area where I would get oily. And then for the rest of the face, I recommend the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Say that 3 times fast. And this is just an all-around good primer to me. It does work well for pores, but in general, it's also just a nice smoothing and perfecting base that I also think helps keep my makeup on longer, even if just a little bit longer. I just apply this in a swiping motion I also think, especially if you have combo to oily skin, that less is more with this product. For foundation, I also thought this would be a great option for a lot of people. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick Foundation. It has SPF 27 and I have mine in the shade 404 Shell Beige. Now, again, if you have combo to oily skin like I do, less is again going to be more with this product. But that is the nice thing about this product, is you can wear it at any capacity that you might want. You can wear it at a very sheer capacity like I'm going to do today, or you can absolutely build it up in specific areas. I do like to use this with a brush. I think it does a nice job of buffing it into the skin, but you can absolutely apply it with a beauty sponge as well. How I'd recommend you do that is to just take your sponge and pick up the product on your sponge and apply it to your skin that way. This is a really nice foundation because it is so versatile in terms of coverage, in terms of what you could use it for. If you don't have a lot of under eye concerns, if you're much younger than I am, then this could even work up underneath your eyes. This also works really nicely for concealing any blemishes on the face that your under eye concealer might not be able to tackle. I like a very nice skin-like finish, and this definitely does that if you don't overdo it. Next is concealer, and I've got a good one for you. This is the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Concealer. This has antioxidants, blue light protection, anti-pollution, caffeine, all kinds of goodies inside of it. And I have mine in the shade 027 Biscuit. This is one that absolutely holds its own over blemishes. It doesn't seem to kind of just blend away like a lot of them do for me. And while this is a little bit more of a thicker consistency, it's not thick in a bad way. I don't want you to take that the wrong way. This one has the oomph to hang on all day. It's long wearing, but it blends out like an absolute dream. It's one of the easier concealers, in my opinion, to blend out. It's hydrating under the eye, but again, you know, long lasting, especially if you set it. And not only is this my favorite under eye concealer from the drugstore, it's also my favorite standard concealer with a wand. My other favorite concealer is from Glossier, and it comes in a little pot. But in terms of a regular concealer with a doe foot and all of that, this is my #1 favorite, period. Not just from the drugstore. I'm gonna quickly do my brows off camera. I think it's really boring to watch. For pencil, I love the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. It has a really nice, soft, but small spoolie, which really helps pull those brow hairs up before you start penciling in. And then this has the smallest little tiny tip to it, which I love because I can make those hair-like strokes in the front of the brow, but I also love that it's not too waxy and it's not too soft, so I can also like really quickly fill in the rest of my brow without feeling like the product's gonna snap off or something like that. And then to set it all into place is the Essence Make Me Brow, and I love this because it is a fiber brow gel, which means that it has tiny little fibers in here that actually adhere themselves to your existing brow hair as you comb it through, and it just lends to a really beautiful, full and fluffy brow, and I love me a full fluffy brow. All right, we're back and it's time for powder, and I have two for you, both from #7. This is the Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Translucent Finishing Powder. This is what I prefer for under my eyes. This is the silkiest, softest, most smoothing powder I have ever tried, which makes it very, very perfect for using in the under eye area for me. And it's 100% dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Yeah, the flawless powder. You know what I'm saying. The flawless finish, I think, is what it is. It just feels exactly the same. And this one, of course, is a lot cheaper, coming from the drugstore, and it just is so beautiful. It absolutely 100% smooths out the under eye, and I don't ever want to live without this one. Now, to set the rest of the face, I am going to use the Perfect Light pressed powder. This is in the translucent shade, and this is the most perfect standard pressed powder that I have ever tried. I've gone through 5 or 6 of these over the years. It sets the makeup into place, but then it becomes one with the foundation or whatever you might have underneath. Highly recommend, worth every single penny. The best powders that the drugstore has to offer. If you've been to my channel before, this choice for bronzer will not surprise you at all. It's the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It, and I have mine in the shade Light. No word of a lie, if I had only one bronzer to recommend to you from my collection, high-end, luxury, or otherwise, it would be this one, because it is foolproof. I've also mentioned many times that I like to call this the fixer of bronzers, because if you have a bronzer, if it's not the right shade, if it's not blending well for you, if it just looks patchy, in any way that you're struggling with bronzer, if you just fluff a little bit of this over top, it looks beautiful. I mean, just look at this side compared to this side. See what I'm saying? And it has just enough glow that it makes it really believable. Like, you just look like you have gotten some sun. Next is blush, and this is one that I have loved in my collection for quite a long time. It is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush, and this is in the shade Always Rosy. These are just beautiful to use. They are very smooth, very blendable. All of these products today are very user-friendly. It's not super pigmented right off the bat, so you can sort of layer it up until you get to the level of blush, which for me is obviously a lot, that you're looking for. It blends out like an absolute dream. You practically don't have to blend it at all. And the other thing I love about it is that this particular color, I feel like, works with most looks. If this is not your jam in terms of colors, they have a lot of other beautiful colors, and I think you would not be disappointed in the formula at all. For highlighter, I have the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter in the shade 10 Be My Highlight. This is definitely a cult classic here on YouTube, and for very good reason. It's cheap, and it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't look cheap. And it's just the most beautiful highlighter that I have ever used from the drugstore. It's somewhere between a gold and a champagne color, which makes it pretty flattering for a lot of looks. It's not too warm of a gold that you can't wear it with more neutral looks or even cooler tone looks. And the other thing that's cool about this one is you can absolutely keep it more subtle, but you can also build it up quite a bit as well to a more blinding highlight if that's what you're into. So this is the complexion all finished. I think all of these products could very well be used with a lot of different looks. No matter where you go with your eyeshadow, I feel like this face of makeup is a beautiful basic canvas to offset anything you might put on the eyes or the lips. So before we get into eyeshadow, the primer I want to recommend to you is this one from Ulta Beauty. This is the Matte Eye Primer in Nude, and as I like to say on my channel, this is like cement for your eyelids. I use a very small amount and swipe that on, and then I take a dense fluffy brush and just evenly spread this across the entire eye from upper lash line to brow. And one of the things I do like about this is the tint and the way I can kind of carve out my brows in one easy step while priming my eyeballs. All right, let's talk my favorite thing, eyeshadow. So I have a couple of options for you today. The first one that I'm going to use is the e.l.f. The New Classics. I absolutely love everything about this palette. I will tell you more in a moment, but if this large of a palette isn't going to be for you, or if you know you aren't going to use all of these colors, I wanted to give you a second option, and that is the e.l.f. Bite Size Quads. I have 3 of them here. I have Rosewater, which is a very pretty pinky mauve color story. I have Cream and Sugar, which is your most basic palette. And then I have the one that my little 12-year-old daughter bought for me, and this is Pumpkin Pie, a beautiful, warm, bronzy color story. All right, so I think the first shade I'm gonna go into is this shade called Truffle right here, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about why I recommend this palette so much. First of all, the e.l.f. eyeshadow formula is really, really beautiful, and these 18 pan palettes, as well as their bite-size eyeshadow quads, they are absolutely gorgeous. Next, going into this next deeper shade called Darling. The other reason I recommend these palettes from e.l.f. is they are very, very user-friendly. Very easy to blend, as well as to put together looks. Obviously, you know, if you go with a bite-size eyeshadow quad like I showed you, those color stories are sort of already picked out for you, which is really nice. But even in this palette, you can look and you can kind of see, okay, these are with warm tones I might use, these are some cooler tones, and then you pretty much either just deepen up the look or add a shimmer on the lid. It's very, very easy, but still gives you a little bit of variety at the same time. On the lid, I'm going to go into this rust-colored orange called Rose Gold. Didn't say the names were great. And I'm just going to use my finger to apply this on the outer 2/3 or so of the lid. These shimmers work just beautifully any way you slice it. It doesn't matter how you use them. You don't need to foil them unless you want to. For a brightening shade on the inner part of the lid, I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Beloved or Beloved. And it's kind of a pinky peachy duochrome, which is really fun to find in an e.l.f. palette. So I'm just going to apply this on the inner 1/3 to 1/2 of the lid. Even now, after I've had this palette for so long, it surprises me every time how good it is. I don't just recommend this palette to you because this is a drugstore video. I recommend it to you all together. For a little bit of a deepening shade on the outer corner, I'm going to go into this warm brown called Muse. I love the cool tone side of this palette, or shades in this palette, just as much as the warm tones, if not more. I'm going to go in with this beautiful ivory shimmer shade, maybe more like a satin. It's called Blanc, like white in French. And it's such a nice texture for going around the tear duct, which is where I like to highlight my inner corner. And there you go. There is the completed eye look with the e.l.f. The New Classics. Eyelashes are curled, and now it's time for mascara. The one I'm going to use today is the L'Oreal Voluminous Original Mascara. I happen to have mine in burgundy because I love that, but they have the regular old shades, black brown as well. The thing I love about this mascara is practically foolproof. It is a very standard mascara, no bells and whistles, just a nice formula, a regular brush. I literally just opened this mascara yesterday, and right off the bat, it's not too wet, not too dry, it's not clumping, none of the shenanigans that we sometimes have to work through with certain mascaras. This one does all the things for me. It gives me just enough volume. It's certainly buildable. And the thing that it really does a good job on is length. And that, my friends, are the lashes done. I just love this mascara. I'm so glad that I opened it back up. All right, the hair is almost dry, which is great because it's time for lippies. My all-time favorite gloss formula, whether drugstore, high-end, or otherwise, is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumpers. And when they say nourishing, they mean nourishing. So the shades that I have are Soft Rose, Rosewood, and Moonlight, which is like kind of a sheer iridescent color, similar to Fenty Diamond Milk. These are beautiful, whether over another lip product or all by themselves. I have finished up countless tubes of these because they're just so comfortable. I even reach for these on days where I'm wearing no makeup at all. I don't like liquid lipsticks, so these are the next best thing for me, and they are the Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayons. You can see I really like these because I have 5 of them in a bunch of different fun colors. So the shades that I have are this red called Own Your Empire, and then you have this sort of pinky nude color called Lead the Way. Then we have this pink right here, which is really beautiful, called Run the World. The purple shade right here, which is my personal favorite, is called Accept a Dare. I always forget that one. And then the brownie one here on the end, which is really fun for fall, is Live on the Edge. If you like a more precision tip, you don't like to use a lip liner, you don't have a lip liner to match every one of your lippies, who does? You can pull out the bottom, and it is a little sharpener that you can sharpen the product and have a nice precision tip to apply the lipstick. So we are going to use my personal favorite today. You might not pick purple to go with this look, but I did. So here we go. I discovered yesterday as well that this Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper in Moonlight is gorgeous over bold lips. So I want to use my phalange to apply a little bit of that over top. All right, let me quick do something with the hair, and then we will wrap up this video in a neat little bow. All right, so here we are in all of our drugstore glory. I hope you guys enjoyed my picks today for the ultimate drugstore starter kit. I thought this was a super fun idea from Ashley, and I'm so glad that she suggested it for the 3 of us to collaborate on. I'm really excited to see what the other ladies have come up with for their drugstore starter kits. But let me know down in the comments if you were starting a drugstore starter kit for someone you knew, someone who was just getting into makeup. What is the #1 tippy top thing that you would put in that starter kit? Let us know down below, because can't we all afford to know about more affordable makeup? So thank you so much for spending part of your day here with me today. I always appreciate each and every single one of you that watch my videos, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days, and I will see you in my next video soon.